Well, hi there. My name is Joel Pashkin, and this is part 3 of our RV story. Now, this is about how we got started. I guess where we left off is, let's see, where were we? Oh, we had just started up to Camp Wilderness up at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. We were heading up there from South Florida. So at this point, I had about maybe 4 hours of experience driving our Class A motorhome, which is a pretty big boat for me. Biggest thing I had ever driven before this point was a pickup truck. So this was a whole new experience. And on the way up to Fort Wilderness, going through the toll on Florida's Turnpike, I busted I busted our passenger side mirror. And that was our first mishap. Oh, actually, it wasn't our first mishap. Our first mishap happened when we were loading up the RV at our house, and I backed into somebody's headlight, and that cost us about $800. His headlight, his grill, and all that good stuff. So mishaps that was our second mishap on the turnpike. So we get up to Wilderness Lodge, really beautiful place to start our RV life. And on the second day that we were there, we find out that there is a hurricane coming. And actually behind that there's another hurricane coming. So we decided to leave and rearrange our planned trip and go up to Lexington, Kentucky, where we had some family. Actually, my daughter lived there. So we are going to drive up to Kentucky, and we're going to go up I-75 through Atlanta. Well, I had no idea what I-75 through Atlanta was like, and by the time we got there, it was pretty close to rush hour, and there were a lot of cars and trucks. And they had recently expanded I-75, they made it wider. And it looked like in between, when they made it wider, they made each of the lanes narrower. So here I am with about 5 or 6 hours experience riding this thing. And there's tractor trailers on either side of me, in the front and back. And I hate to admit this, I am terrified. And if I'm terrified in the driver's seat, Margaret was 10 times more terrified in the passenger seat. Well, anyway, I'm literally glued to the back of the tractor trailer in front of us, and it was the most terrifying experience I think I had ever been in my life. But thank God we made it through. We got up to a campground right outside of Atlanta. We stopped for the night, and then the next day we made it up to Kentucky, where we spent 2 weeks riding out 3 hurricanes. That was a pretty interesting first couple of weeks of our RV life. We then continued our trip. As a matter of fact, I can't even remember exactly where we went. Oh yes, I remember. We went from Kentucky, we went into Tennessee, we went down into Alabama, and to the panhandle of Florida, where we stayed for a little bit, and then we came back to Fort Lauderdale. That was our first. That was from the week before Labor Day up through I think it was mid-October, and where we stayed in South Florida for the winter so that we could be near my parents. And that was really our first adventure of our RV life. We hadn't needed any extra money. Everything was going okay. We were enjoying our life. We were trying to get used to RV life. We were living in this small space. We had never been together for any length of time. And here we are now, we're together 24/7. And that was an interesting process to get used to. We had set up our RV. We changed it a few times until we got comfortable. As a matter of fact, over the next couple of years, we would rearrange things again and again and again until we got comfortable. And on the road that we stopped, places that we stopped, the campgrounds we stopped in, we started to learn a little bit about RVing, we started to learn a little bit about camping, and we started to learn a little bit about how to take care of our motorhome. And it was a tremendous learning experience. And then we spent the following 6 months, the winter in South Florida. Florida is a great place to spend the winter. But it turns out that South Florida wasn't really a good place for us because we were too close to family. We wanted to see friends, but family kept inviting us for dinner, and it wasn't easy getting used to that because they were still getting used to us leaving. And now that we were back, it was pretty hard. But that was the extent of our hardship on the first year. We had a great time for the most part. We learned a lot, and we decided that we were definitely going to continue doing what we do. And in February or March of that next year, we planned our itinerary for the following summer, that we were going to go and do the things we were going to do, and I'll tell you all about that in part 4. So that's it for today. Hope you're doing well. See you again. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, go through those. They're on YouTube. This will be on YouTube sometime today. And we'll talk to you again. Bye now.